All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings movie review. My name is Tank Kramer. I am with Will Peppa MD. How you doing, man?
Yo,
Hey,
what's
it
up?
looks like Will has shared the stream.
It's peanut butter zombie time.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. So man, we got another double feature. So if you're watching live, it's gonna be a double feature. We're talking 2 movies. If you're watching on replay, we're gonna do one, and then another video is gonna be the other review. But we're gonna start off with a new kind of thing that we're doing. We're gonna start doing some classic reviews of the classic movies, and then we're gonna ask the question: does it hold up? And we're gonna see if these classic movies hold up. And it kind of works out perfectly because the new Ghostbusters that we're gonna review on Monday is coming out, the Ghostbusters Afterlife. So we figured let's review Ghostbusters from 1984, the original OG Ghostbusters, starring Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, of course, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. I mean, it was an awesome cast back then. So, who else? Eddie Hudson. I forgot about Eddie Hudson. So,
Yep.
Yeah, super cool cast, man. So we're not gonna do any trailers. We're just gonna kind of get into it, and we're not really gonna talk about what's good or bad. We're just gonna talk about things about the movie. Things that we're gonna compare to today, other things, story, stuff like that. So what do you want to talk about first about Ghostbusters, the 1984 version?
Okay, so being as this is a 1984 movie, when I think of the 80s, right, I think of colorful neon. I think of like the hairstyles. I think of the old school way of how we were. Yep, as a society, right? So especially with the whole neon thing and on the color scheme, when I look at older movies like this, I'm looking for that, right? I'm looking for bright colors. I'm looking for those attention grabbers and cool technology. As in the past, as we are today, we're always striving for like new, crazy devices that do the impossible. So in this movie, right, we get introduced to kind of ghost hunting. Woo! So ghost hunting, and they have these I don't know what you call them, like cannons, guns, like vacuums, if you will. They're like
the proton packs.
The proton packs. There you go. So the proton packs use nuclear energy to like suck in these extraterrestrials, and so by looking at when they use them, right, I see a nice cool like zap and whatnot, and it just makes me think, oh, happy Wednesday, happy hump day.
Happy Wednesday.
It makes me think like, wow, if this were to be released today, right? I know we have better technology. I know we have better everything, right? But if you were to put out the same product today with maybe updated stuff, how would it do? And from the CGI, if you will, I don't know if it was computer generated. Yeah, it was computer generated.
Yeah, it had to.
It's just very old computer generation. Yeah, right. Yeah. Stunt doubles, still shots with like action figures. I know they do that a lot. They do the strings. Yeah. I see that like a high schooler could have done this today using like Premiere Pro or something.
Yeah. That just explains how much has movie making technology evolved from the 80s to now. It's like like a high schooler can do better CGI than what was made back then.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And so, I know I'm comparing apples, oranges, but when I look at a movie like this, right, and then the scene with the hotel and you're looking up and you see like crazy, like supernaturalness and whatever, I think of, I think of other movies that have kind of done something similar. And so, I don't know. I feel like other movies can do CGI better, even at this time. So when did Star Wars first come out? Star Wars
78, 79, I believe.
So even
was the first one?
Yeah, for a 79 movie, I feel like even Star Wars did better than what this movie portrayed with its technology, with its visuals, except for some of the cool ghosts. The ghosts themselves look pretty darn cool in this movie, even today.
Cool. I think Slimer, after rewatching it, Slimer was still pretty cool looking.
He was. He was. Yeah. I agree. But looking at like what's his name? The Puff Man?
The Stay Puft.
The Stay Puff. Yeah. I don't know, man. I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it.
Yeah, that's funny because like the Stay Puft was part real, real kind of stuff, which is kind of funny that they went with practical like stuff. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, they did like a small version kind of thing. So that's there's one of the people, and then there's obviously they didn't do it for everything because there's a part where his face gets like disintegrated, and it looks like they did the same thing there, but like he's climbing the building and stuff like that. So obviously, it was a combination of small scale and the CGI, but you can definitely tell the difference when it was one and the other. Because if it was CGI, it had a weird outline. The big one was the dogs for me.
Yeah.
When he busts through the door and it just looks so weird, and then it's running and it just doesn't look natural. It just looks very weird with that. But the one thing I do give Ghostbusters, I believe they didn't put a lot of money into it because they didn't think it was going to be too big of a film.
Oh, that's interesting.
I could be wrong.
I think it's showing the budget was for 30 million, and it's for back then. It's kind of a lot of money, but movies nowadays be going into like the 90 million or something. So at the box office, they did pretty well. They tripled their money? No, even more. 30 million.
Dude, I think, it was 30 million budget, and the box office was 295 million.
Wow.
So yeah. I remember also these guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. They weren't what they are now. And they're legends. You know what I mean? Ernie Hudson, same thing. All these people are legendary actors. Back then, they were kind of really starting to barely get in the game, so they didn't have the kind of pool that I'm sure that they have now.
Right.
So, but I could have swore I think the whatever company, they didn't want to put too much money into it because they didn't think it was gonna do too well. And even like here, think about this. Eddie Murphy was going to be in this movie, and he turned it down because he went to go film Beverly Hill Cop.
Oh,
so even Eddie Murphy thought, he's like, oh, it looks like a cool film, but I'm gonna go do this because it looks like it's gonna gonna do better. And obviously, I mean, Beverly Hills Cop is still an awesome classic, but it's nowhere near as much love Ghostbusters gets.
True.
Yeah. So I think they were confined with certain things for sure. I felt like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Is they didn't get a lot of money put into it yet.
Yeah, I can see that, but I kind of was okay with it, even though it was lower on the budget. Like for what they did do, I was content. I wouldn't say I was ecstatic or happy, but like to see that today, right? And you can't see it in 4K because it's an old movie. But like to see what I did see visually, I was like, oh, okay. It did what they could. And then story wise, one thing that I look at story wise, as far as new movies today, I always look at character progression or character development or some kind of like, how do our main protagonists, how do they look in the beginning of a movie? And then how do they look at the end of a movie? Usually they go through some kind of transformation. And in this one, I don't see that. I don't see that at all for any of them. So like, for example, right, a little bit of Bill Murray's character, Dr. Peter, what's his name? Venkman? Yeah. He's just like his character. He's real funny. He's kind of douchey. He's kind of like he's like the comedy relief a little bit, right? But he's real douchey. Like, and at the end of the movie, I still think he's douchey. I just think that he just does a better job now. Now he has, more of a purpose. Like the only thing that the end of the movie really gives me was like, oh, now that these guys, have been using science for so long and they've been using it to more scheme and whatnot and hustle for money, now they're finally, using it for the good of mankind. As it was the dean that was talking about.
In the beginning of the movie when he first, I forgot what his school was, like New York university or whatever school they were
I
in the
forgot.
beginning. Yeah.
Well, it says Harold. No, never mind. I don't know. University. Yeah, some university in New York City.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Columbia, it was Columbia University. There we go. Columbia University.
Even like Ernie Hudson's character, one guy plays the one that plays Winston. Like he
Mhm.
comes in mid movie, right?
Yeah.
And because they needed like what they needed help because the other guy, Tully, he was just doing his own thing or whatever. He what was he
No.
doing?
Well, they hired him. Tully was the neighbor. That was
Oh, he's a neighbor. Never mind. Okay.
yeah, he was the neighbor. He was which is Rick Moranis's character. He was
Mhm.
he was one of the beasts. You know, he was the keymaster. If you remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He was the
Along with
keymaster.
Sigourney, and Sigourney Weaver was also a keymaster. No, right? She was a
She was the gatekeeper.
gatekeeper.
So very sexual innuendo with the keymaster and the gatekeeper. So you know, and there's a part of the film where Bill Murray's character wants to go on a date with her, and he opens the door, and she's all like in this a flaily, like a dress kind of thing. Her hair's all puffed out, and she's all like horny and
yeah,
so and he's but see that was I think that was like I was like all right, he's a douche, but he's not like a creep, you know what I mean? Like he's a
True.
so it was like he had a chance, but he's like no, so he like he drugged her up, which I guess is still bad, but he kind of drugged her up for her own safety, so I guess it's okay. But but yeah, so I mean, but I do agree, is like no one really changed too much besides I think the person that changed was supposed to be like the world around it. It was like, okay. No one believes in ghosts. Ghosts are fake. Like they're asking where's Elvis, and then I think the world changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like where they weren't relevant, where they were like jokes in their college that they worked for, and now they're big shots.
Right.
Or at least at the end of this film, in the first one, they're big shots. Like the city loves them and the mayor loves them and all that stuff. But yeah.
So. After they get taken out of jail or whatever, right? Like everyone's all cheering for them. Yeah. So another thing that kind of has me conflicted. Before was. Hold on.
So real quick, what you think about that? So I'm looking at the stuff that said Ghostbusters was the first comedy to employ expensive special effects, and Columbia Pictures was concerned that its relatively high 25 to 30 million budget had little faith in the box office potential. So I guess that was considered expensive special effects at the time, and I guess that $30 million was a high budget. So I take that back. I was wrong. That's a decent amount of money back in the early 80s.
Yeah, back then it was a lot. Today's budget of 30 million seems like barely anything. It's like a fundraiser for some of these executives. So
yeah, 30 million. You can that's an indie movie now.
Yeah, I swear.
It's an indie, yeah.
So. The thing that has me conflicted is like, I don't know have you ever been to New York?
No, I have not.
I have not either. But from what I've heard, right, and friends that I have that are from there, and just the internet in general has kind of taught me what New York is about. And now I know I'm saying that and I'm talking out of my ass, right? I've never been there, so I can't speak on it. But there's a certain like element that the city of New York City brings, and where it's almost like its own character. They have their own style. They have their own way of they dress, talk, if you will, even back then they had that. They had their own way of how they did things over there, and just I feel like I didn't get that expressed too much. They showed the city, they showed nice cinematography of the city, and then like showing the ground breaking under them when they almost like die from when they're about to enter the hotel. Was it a hotel, right?
No, it was like was it she lived in a penthouse.
It was the high-rise building, right? Just I know it was tall.
I think it was like 20 something floors.
Okay.
Because I remember like he said like let me know when I get to 20 so I could throw up. So Because he asked him, he goes, "Oh, what floor are we on?" He goes, "Somewhere in the teens." He goes, "All right, let me know when we get to 20 so I can throw up."
Yeah.
But yeah.
That I feel like that's one thing that does hold up today is those little comments that they be making,
yes.
Those, I don't know what you call them, right? But like the
Like
little
one-liners.
One-liners. That's a good way. Yeah. The one-liners from the 80s are just like cray. They're just so good. Like you don't have to get the joke. You don't have to dig so deep for a joke when it comes to the one-liners from the 80s, but they make you laugh anyways. So like that's one of the lines that kind of stuck out to me.
This movie is like this baked in one-liners, and there's one-liners that are like forever are gonna live in forever just with this movie. We got Armando said Merry Children has great one-liners. I think that's the time, like in the 80s into the 90s, like that was kind of the thing. Married with Children. But like one like this one is like, I remember I was like some of the best lines is like, "Don't cross the streams." People still say that, dude. 30 something years later, people are still "Don't cross the streams." And I'm sure people say that like younger generation, like, like, because we're old men now, but like, like kids, and they have no idea where that's from. You know what I mean? It's like, but then also like one of my favorite lines still to this day after watching it, I was like, oh, that's a great line is where Winston tells the group after, they get blasted on the roof, where Winston's like, he goes, "Ray, if somebody asks if you're a god, say yes." I was like, that's hilarious. It's still, it's everything. That whole last scene of them on the roof is one of the best scenes. Like, and for me, like in movie, it's just the funniness and everything. When Stay Puft comes out, he goes, "He's a sailor. He likes to have fun. He like get him laid, and he was good." So it's like just stuff like that. Where they're like, "Oh, see you on the other side, Ray." It's like. Just I don't know that the last 15 to 20 minutes is just like that's what makes the movie great, is just that big final thing, and I think that's what people remember with it, because I think the beginning of the movie was really cool, where you're like, is it a ghost, is it not, the whole library thing where it's spooky, and then it builds up into something that I don't know if I don't know if people knew what to expect, but even when when Vakeman walks into the apartment for the first time, and he has this stupid like sucker, like the stick where he just squeezes the little thing, and I don't even know what that does. And like he opens the piano and just goes ding 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 with the two piano keys, and he goes, "Oh, they hate this. It annoys them." And I'm like, but that's like, and he's talking crap to the ghost, and I'm like, did these newer ghost shows, like Paranormal Activities and all these like ghost hunting shows, was like, did they get their information from like Ghostbusters? They're like trying to aggravate the ghosts. So
that's funny.
But I don't know. It's just still some of the best one-liners, some of the best scenes, especially from the 80s movie came out during that. But what's up?
I was gonna ask you one last thing before we go to our main question of the day, which is as like our final boss lady, right? Gozer, supposed to be like a demigod, right? Do you think Gozer held up as a strong antagonist at the end? You think they could have done better? You think they could have went with a different? Because I think Gozer's a guy, and they even mentioned like, oh, he could take on whatever shape he wants or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's a girl at the end, and they were surprised it was a female,
because Gozer is a real like mythology. I don't know if you know that. He's a real demigod or whatever, and I think it's supposed to be a guy. It doesn't matter.
It's a shapeshifter. It's a shapeshifter. So, I guess
it is shapeshifter.
It's a guy. I don't know, but it's like it's a god of destruction, which is kind of cool. Gozer, the Gozerian.
Yeah, that's right.
And I didn't even have to look that up. Stupid shit I remember. Zool too. Zool's another demigod. That it was super cool. That they took like stuff like that. But they couldn't. Zool was like, I remember in school, doing a research about the movie. But Zool was like a servant or worshipped Gozer, like in the myth. So like they it's like, I don't know if they found something cool and like, oh, let's do this, and they kind of went a little silly with it with the whole gatekeeper and
I think so.
and the Keymaster, stuff like that. But yeah,
But you think Gozer holds up as a good villain?
I don't know. I don't know because Gozer is just like they kind of flip it where it's Gozer is the badass, but the Gozer only brings the traveler, quote unquote, and the traveler is what destroys the world. So in that case, like Gozer used whatever thing they had in their mind to destroy them, which is kind of cool. I'm like, I get it. And then that was another best scene where everyone's like, don't think about anything, you have it blank,
What's his name? Dan Aykroyd.
Ray. Yeah, Ray winds up backing up. He goes, "Oh, I thought about the thing from my childhood that was harmless," and then it's the Stay Puffed. So it's kind of a weird combination. I don't know. It was just that was the ultimate. I think it was just the ultimate ghost because I think for me, like during the whole film, all the ghosts were all the antagonist of it all. Gozer was just the final, the big one at the end because it didn't really lead up to it that much until like later on in the film. It was just them fighting ghosts, and that was the biggest ghost.
I don't know. I feel like they could have been bigger. I feel like as a final boss when you play video games. I know you mentioned there was a video game for this, right? Ghostbusters. I'm always expecting like something extraordinary that like blows me away for the final boss, something that's big in size, big in power, big in I don't know. I feel like they could have done something else with Gozer, but that's just me.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I mean, I think they definitely blew a lot of the budget. If that was like big, if they were spending a lot of money on special effects, a lot of the special effects was like at the end, with a lot of the laser beams and this and that. But I didn't mind it too much. I think it went well with everything. Where it was just like they never took anything too serious, especially like Venkman, with Bill Murray's character was just everything was like a joke, like even at the end, where he might die, he's like, oh, see you on the other side. It was like what? So that was kind of like the whole thing. It was like it never took serious. If we ever get into the sequel, Ghostbusters 2. I think they fix a lot of that issues. They definitely make the city a bigger part of the story. Obviously with what they do with Statue of Liberty in the second one, but I feel like they have a bad guy and they stick to that bad guy, throughout the whole movie. This one, it's kind of just like just the ghosts are the bad guy, and that was just kind of like, but. Yeah, I mean, they could have gone bigger. I didn't mind it too much. It was kind of a cool, like punk rock kind of looking chick with the short hair and then the spandex and shooting laser beams out of her fingers and doing crazy flips in stilettos and stuff. So it was cool. It was fun. I think that was the thing. It was fun. This movie was meant to be fun, and I think that bad guy was here's this destroyer, and she's wearing stilettos. And it's got like crazy short spiky hair. So I think it fit the movie for me. It fit the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But you want to get into the question of this?
Yes.
Does
question of the day.
Ghostbusters? Yeah. So does Ghostbusters from 1984 still hold up? What do you think?
In my opinion, I was kind of on the fence. I'm kind of torn in between whether it is or not. I want to say it does hold up. And here's why it holds up. It holds up because the comedy really kept this movie going. Like for a supernatural movie, I'm always all about the jump scares and the about the ghosts themselves and whatnot. And this one, it made it so that you don't focus on just the ghost. You focus on the characters and what they're going through, even though there's no in my opinion, there's no like mission to this movie. Like it's just everything is just without a reason. It's like, oh yeah, these guys they do science and they're scientists and blah blah blah. So I want to say it does hold up only for the fact that it was a super funny movie. and it had some of my favorite characters in it. So Sigourney Weaver is just Bay. I've been in love with her since watching Aliens, and
Oh
then
yeah.
any movie she does, I'm just goo goo gaga over here. So the fact that they had great cast, funny movie, and I don't know. Just based off that, I think it holds up. So today,
Yeah.
you can get
Yeah.
those one-liners, and they still, like how you said, crossing streams. The other day, what was it? And now it's making more sense to me. My guy is like, hey man, I stream playing this game. Like I hear that you stream. You wanna cross streams? And it's just now hitting me. He probably was mentioning the liner from here, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think it holds up. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, this 100% holds up. I remember watching this movie so much as a kid growing up. I mean, dude, so much. So many jokes went over my head. This is a very, very adult jokes are in it. So watching it as an adult, through teenager, early adulthood, and now still like just watching this today, I'm like, oh man, there's some dirty, dirty jokes in here, and I forget, and I'm like, damn, I'm like, my parents let me watch this, it's like, there's some dirty jokes in here, like, and it just, everything about it just holds up, the graphics are definitely dated, but if they were to just redo it like George Lucas does with Star Wars and throws more CGI over and over and over into the movies, definitely you can make the dog thing creatures look better and some of the green screeny stuff look better, but overall, I mean, like, Bill Murray was amazing, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, even Rick Moranis as a goofy little neighbor guy. It's super annoying, just like all of that is, it's so funny, and it works perfectly. I never looked at this as a like a supernatural scary movie. It's just like a comedy with ghosts, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
it for me, that's what it always was, and that's what works best for it, where it's always funny. Some of the little Muppets that they use were definitely pretty awesome, but the CGI is dated, obviously, from the 80s. The music definitely fits the time period, but it overall is just, it's a great movie, and it would always, it's a classic for sure. I think I saw on Rotten Tomatoes it's like 97%. Let's see, I think it's at 97%.
Is that
Yeah,
critics?
97% critics, and
Yeah.
really, audience is at 88%, which is kind of weird. I feel like that might be a lot of the newer generation, like,
Probably
finding out about it, and they're like, oh. But even today, it doesn't do anything where you're like, oh, maybe he should not have said that. Like, that won't fly in today's world. Yeah, Venkman was a little douchey, but he wasn't like too much where you're like, oh, you can't say that today.
Right.
At least I don't think there was nothing major like that happen. But yeah,
No.
It holds up, man. Whenever it's on TV, it's not on TV that much anymore. But whenever it is, I wind up watching it. This one and the sequel.
Yeah.
The video game was super cool too. Like I always tell people, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, play the video game that came out like early, I want to say like 2009, maybe 8. I can't think of it. But it's a sequel. It's a sequel where you are hired as a Ghostbuster, and they get all the voices. The game's written by Harold Ramis, so like it's a legit sequel, and it made me so happy playing it. Where it's a first person like shooter, so you're the Ghostbuster that they just hired, and it's this whole story of you being trained as a Ghostbuster, and great story, super short game, not too big, not too long, good graphics, for a video game, but fun game, super fun game, man. I might stream it on Twitch just because it is a really great game.
Which system did it come out on? You said 2009 or 5? You said?
I want to say, I think I played it on my Xbox or my Xbox 360. I think I played it on my Xbox 360. So was that 360 is like Xbox 360, PS3?
Okay.
That time.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, yeah. Let me see. Ghostbusters the video game. It came out in 2009. Boom! Look at that. PS4, Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable.
PS4.
Yeah, so I think I might have played it on my. Yeah. So super fun game. I recommend playing that. So all the original voices too, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis wrote the script for the video game. So you can't get much than a sequel than having those guys write, that wrote in 1 and 2 and then wrote the video game. It's true. It's good. So I was in 7 heaven.
Is it me or is Dan Aykroyd always in a New York movie or something related to New York?
All the time.
Is he from New York? I swear he probably is.
Probably. He might be Canadian. If not, he's Canadian.
No,
he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Yeah. You could definitely tell because there's a few parts in this one where he says like, he's like, Vakeman, I'm sorry, but he doesn't. He goes, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Like so he had his Canadian accent kind of leak through a little bit. But yeah.
By the way, you did that a little bit too well. Do you have any Canadian like relatives or something?
Actually, I did the my girlfriend for one of her projects had to research family trees, and I found out that some family on my mom's side are like Swedish bloodline that were in Canada. So, so yeah, not too long ago.
I'm really
my grandfather's. Yeah, I mean Canadian accent's not too hard. You just give it that weird that like, oh, sorry there. How you doing there?
Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can do other accents, but I can't do a Canadian one.
Canadian.
All I do is I just add like, how you doing, or whatever they, they always add that in there. I love it.
Yeah. You all want to go to Tim Hortons?
I swear you did really well. You should do like a Canadian thing one day. Well, anyways, cool.
But yeah, man. Yeah. So recommend going watching it. It's gonna tie in with the new one coming out, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we are going to talk about on Monday, the weekend after it's released. I'm excited. I got my tickets already. I'm going to see it Friday night. Oh, I can't wait. Everyone that saw it said it's very throwback. So I'm enjoying that. Directed by the son of the first director, Ivan Reitman. So now you got the son getting his hands in it. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. So we're gonna talk about that on Monday. See where that goes. But cool. Anything else, man? You want to add?
Nah, I can't wait for that new one. That's for sure. That kid from Stranger Things is gonna be in there. He's like a hot actor right now. So hopefully he does one.
Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd. That's nuts.
Paul Rudd.
He's taking a break for the MCU to be here. That's cool.
To be a Ghostbuster. So yeah, so I'm excited. Poor Harold Ramis, obviously, with him passing away, he's not going to be in it. But hopefully, it's a good homage to his character, Egon Spangler. So and I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be fun. At the very least, it's going to be super fun. So cool. So that's it for our classic movie review of Ghostbusters from 1984. So if you're watching live, stay tuned. We're gonna talk about another movie, and if you're watching on replay, thank you for checking us out. Make sure you hit that sub button and follow us, and let us know what you thought about Ghostbusters. You never seen it before? You're gonna just see it, or are you like me? Somebody who grew up on that kind of movie. So let us know down in the comments. But that is it for this episode. But yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys later.
Deuces.
Cool. All right. So people sticking around, appreciate you guys. But we're gonna talk about Red Notice right now.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So let's do this real quick. So I'll do another intro. Ugh. Freaking mouth, throat's all dry. Well, real quick before we go on, if you guys are watching, make sure you hit that sub button, man. We're really trying to hit 50 subs. We're trying to hit 50 subs before the end of the month. That's our goal. We're at 47 right now, so we'll see. But if you're watching live, This is all going to get cut out, so whatever. But
Yeah.
we do giveaways. So we try to do weekly movie giveaways. I think we changed it up last second. So this upcoming week we're gonna do what we just say, Candyman. Yeah, we're gonna do something else, but I think we're gonna do Candyman. So share with your friends, tell your friends on Facebook and whoever, like, hey, check out these guys. They talk about movies. They give away movies. So stuff like that. So yeah. And then if you have a recommendation of a classic you want us to watch, I'm down. I love classic movies.
Oh yeah, we got one in our homework that we got to do. Right?
Yeah.
Talked about the little short film. We'll do that sometime soon.
Short film.
Yeah.
Hopefully, pretty soon. Maybe sometime next week. Depends. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, cool. Let's get Red Notice going. So we'll go 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer. I'm with Will Peppa MD. What's up, man?
What's up?
Yo. Yeah. So all the people watching live, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And if you're watching on VOD, on video on demand, on a replay, thank you. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. But we're talking about the quote unquote biggest Netflix release as stated by Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. I don't know if it's true, but that's what they've been toting around a lot. So let me get a few things ready. So Red Notice is out on Netflix. Let's see. Let me get the trailer up real quick. But so I wound up watching this one on over the weekend.
Okay.
It was a fun one. So it stars The Rock, it stars Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. Have her brain fart with her name. Yeah. So pretty big lineup. Pretty big who's who right now, because those are all big, super big shots. I was really surprised when I first saw the cast. I was like, "Oh crap, that's a big cast. That's a big cast." Yeah. You got the synopsis ready, or you just kind of want to talk a little bit about it?
I got the synopsis ready. Yeah.
All right. So let's do what we usually do. Watch the trailer.
All right, so this movie is on Netflix, so you could have watched this at home. It's the movie Red Notice is a 2021 American action comedy film. I like how they still call it a film. It's a movie written and directed by Ross and Marshall Thuber. Stars Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as an FBI agent who reluctantly teams up with renowned art thief who was number 1 in the world, but then he got bumped to number 2, and that's known as Ryan Reynolds, in order to catch an even more notorious criminal known as Gal Gadot in this movie, which she's so attractive in this movie. Like, bro, couldn't get my eyes off of her. The movie marks the third collaboration between Thuber and Johnson following Central Intelligence and Skyscraper that came out in 2018. So pretty much the whole point of this movie is Cleopatra from Egypt, right? She was a queen or something. She's super famous. We all know who Cleopatra is. So for some reason, before she died, or as she died, she had her peoples kind of hide away her 3 eggs. Is that safe to say? 3 eggs? What kind of eggs are they?
Yeah.
They're prized possession eggs. They're very, very expensive, very rare, and they were stored away. And at some point, people, knew about it, and they decided to go on a hunt for these things. So there's 3 of them, right? And so we find 1 and 2, and then the third one's the one that is a tough one to get, and that's what the movie's about.
Yeah, with the Nazis, which is real fact that the last time the third egg was seen was in the hands of the Nazis. So and so they take a lot of history and obviously twist it a lot, so where the Nazis have a lot of art, expensive stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's safe to
and
say.
and right before everything went to crap for the Nazis, they like hid a bunch of treasure, and no one still knows like where it's at or whatever. So that's
Oh,
kind of cool.
I might just look for it
Kinda cool.
myself.
Yeah. Well, we found out it's in Argentina.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, it's in Argentina.
Yeah. But
yeah, this is an action movie, but it had its funny moments, right? Who'd you like better in this movie? Did you like The Rock or did you like Ryan Reynolds better?
Oh. Well, real quick, here's the eggs that they redo. Ooh. 3 eggs.
Like pretty darn fancy.
I think Mark Anthony gave Cleopatra the eggs as a gift. Pretty cool. Little history.
What are you talking about? Mark Anthony? Like the real eggs?
Yeah. Mark Anthony from Egypt.
Oh.
Mark Anthony, yeah. The old school Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony. Okay. Every time I hear that name, I think of the only singer artist I had.
Yeah, the wrong Mark Anthony. But I think Mark Anthony and Cleopatra had a little thing going on.
That Mark Anthony. Yeah, not the M-A-R-K. M-A-R-C, right? Is it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. See, I think I have there's Mark Anthony and Cleopatra. I think it's like a video game or some kind of art. So,
which, by the way, can we just for the record, Cleopatra was not light skinned. I hope people realize this, that Egypt is in Africa. It's near the equator, which means anyone that's near the equator usually has more. What's that thing it's called that it's in your skin?
Pigmentation.
Pigmentation or melanin or whatever.
Melanin.
So I laugh every time I see pictures or old photos of Cleopatra and Mark Anthony, and I see Caucasian people portraying them. They were not light skinned. I'm not saying they were super dark either, but yeah, just for clarity. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation that we can get into.
It is. Yeah. Another day.
Yeah.
But what did you like about this movie?
It was fun. It was a fun movie. It didn't take itself serious. It knew what it was, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that part of it where it just like, hey, we know where we are. We're The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. So, that's what that's the thing is like what we got was like Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, The Rock being The Rock, and Gal Gadot being the Gal Gadot. I mean that's the best that you can get, it's like you know what to expect from each of those actors, and they really, really dive in head first with what they're known for. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, mouthy, stupid jokes. That's what he did. The Rock kind of, does his little dad jokes that are kind of silly, but he's busting up stuff, and he got his butt kicked a lot in this film, which I was kind of surprised. But he's still doing The Rock's kind of stuff, And then Gal Gadot, it's like, you're an okay actress, but we're gonna put you in skin tight everything, and you're gonna show off a lot of leg and everything, and you're gonna be kind of like sexy and bad, and I thought that was obviously probably one of the best performances of her life, besides the first Wonder Woman.
That's fair.
But but it's also like, do what you do best, and all three of them did what they did best in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So that I enjoyed that they didn't try to do something that they're not. In a nutshell. So I liked. What about you, man?
I respect that. I kind of liked. So I see The Rock paired up with a lot of other actors, right? Kevin Hart, he's done a movie with him. He's done movies with what's another big one? The whole Fast and Furious, Jumanji. He always pairs up with one other person, and for some reason, The Rock has just the best chemistry with everyone. Like I don't usually see him in a movie to where I'm like, oh man, they shouldn't have paired them two together. Even the Hobbs and Shaw, I didn't like Hobbs and Shaw that they like did their own thing with Fast and Furious, but if the movie by itself, the chemistry between them two, The Rock and Jason Statham, was pretty darn good. That little back and forth, and then like how, you know, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Ryan Reynolds is he is Deadpool. I see him as Deadpool and nothing else. I don't typecast him as just Deadpool because I know he can do other stuff. He's a good looking man. He works out, so he has a body, right? But he just happens to be funny and he has a smart mouth. So I consider him, you know, the real life merc with the mouth. I know he's not a mercenary, but just,
yeah, no, there, that's who he is.
That's who he is. Yeah. And I don't know when he started being like that. I think I kind of saw a little bit of that in the movie Waiting. You ever see the movie Waiting?
Oh, yeah. Talk about a movie that doesn't quite hold up. I mean, I guess it is kind of up his alley. He likes them young, so. Because there's a good, like, yeah, but super funny movie, but also, you know, going after a girl that just turned 18.
Yeah, hold up.
You know, but then you can't find out, well, Blake Lively's a good like 13 years younger than him or something stupid like that. So,
oh yeah. But like that's when I first kind of saw him using his mouth to really like make simple scenes into bigger ones more than what they are, just based off of the dialogue that he uses. So like he tends to, I don't know if he did it in this movie. Maybe you can correct me. Did he break the fourth wall? Did he like do anything to like? I kept getting that vibe, but he didn't actually. I don't think I saw him do it.
I don't think he spoke to the audience directly like Deadpool does, but he definitely said stuff where they knew they were kind of like making fun of itself, like literally making fun of itself. And there were a few times, like, you know, that they did that, or like, you know, so stuff like that. I can't think of examples specifically. But I remember I was like, they got very meta a few times. So I don't know if you would consider that breaking the fourth wall because they didn't talk directly to the camera, but he was saying stuff that only the viewers would get, kind of thing. Because it didn't make any sense in the conversation that he was having with whoever he was having with. So I guess kind of.
Well said. Well, it's exactly what was going through my mind. I'm like, I don't think he broke the fourth wall, but he would say comments after a scene, it would be done. He would just have a little bit more screen time. He would say like a little comment or throw a little something, and it'd be funny. It's, you know, luckily it was funny. Like if he was making these comments and it sucked, then this movie would be trash. But no, he's a one-liner guy himself. Well, he's not even a one-liner guy. He can carry scenes. But I do like things that I like in the movie. I like the fight scenes. A little unbelievable. Gal Gadot, spoiler alert. I mean, I don't think this is a big spoiler, but she fights The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. And she beats
a few times. Yeah, and a few times.
Yeah, she did it. Yeah, right? A few times.
Yeah.
And look at her, right? She's, you can't see her on the screen. I'm looking at her right now, but she's so skinny and frail and just, how does she, come on. Put her in a WWE match with The Rock and he's going to just obliterate her. Come on.
Yeah. He'll do his eyebrow thing and just break her back just by that. Like, But yeah, I mean, but I think because she was Wonder Woman, people are able to see her that way now. I think, yeah, where she's like, oh, she's Wonder Woman, she's fine, but it's also like she's also like super skinny, you know, like
she is
very like she doesn't have that much muscles or anything like that on her, but that doesn't bother me too much. You know, it's kind of whatever. But it is funny that she would like maybe Ryan Reynolds. I can see her maybe taking on Ryan Reynolds, but I mean The Rock. I mean there's very few people in the world that could probably actually take on The Rock in a legit manner. You know, even if you're like, I mean you got to be like you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like highest degree to really get him because he's an athlete. He has agility. I know he's on the bigger side now, so he probably lost some of his agility, but he's athletic. He does a lot of his stunts.
and and we all know that he's swollen shit. So like, come
Yeah.
on, who's gonna take on him? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it though. I like how they pushed that envelope and
Yeah.
really showed that women doesn't matter your size, or men does not matter your size. You can be strong. You can be not army strong, but you can be extraordinarily strong, or maybe quick, or maybe you can have something go your way and beat the Goliath, David against Goliath kind of deal. And that's not what this movie was about, but I think about that just on the scene where she's fighting the Rock, and it
Yeah.
just it sparks a thought in my head. Ryan Reynolds super funny in this movie. And then who was the guy? My favorite scene, I don't know why I like the scene so much, is when what's his name? The one that has the second. Woo! Thank you. The guy that had the second egg. What was his name? Chris or
the
Soto
stupid
Vost?
was it the Italian guy? I think he was, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
it was so corny. It was super corny.
It was. It reminded me of a movie.
He likes to choke people. That was the funniest. Is with this little teeny man with his little leather gloves, grabs the Rock by his neck. And he's choking out the Rock. And that just made me laugh because I was like, there's no way in any kind of reality is a man like that gonna grab the Rock's neck. The Rock has more muscles in his neck than this man has in his entire body. He could probably body slap him with his Adam's apple. So
yeah. That's a fair statement.
I legit I forgot about that. But when he just grabbed him by the neck and the Rock is choking, I'm like, no way, because it was just so funny. It was so funny. I was like, your hands can't even get over around enough. Like it was like trying to choke a basketball. Like you can't do it. Even like NBA players, you can't do it. It's like you can maybe grab it, but you're not choking it. And I'm not even exaggerating. Me and my girlfriend watched this and we laughed because he grabs him by the neck with his little leather gloves, and the Rock is like, good acting, I guess, by the Rock, but there's no way, that was too funny. That was too funny.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, man. You were.
Oh no, you're good.
You're going on about the crappy guy.
He was just funny, and
he was.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought he died the first instance that who took him out or whatever, and then he does that scene or he does that thing what the Undertaker does in wrestling, where he gets up in laying position, and he keeps just going after. He's like that freaking the robot from Terminator 2.
Yeah,
it just keeps on going. But he's so funny.
Yeah. Was it Scotto?
Soto Vost?
Soto Vost, something like that. Yeah, he was like an Italian, I guess. Italian, was it? I forgot.
I think it was Italian. But I just thought it was interesting how what happened exactly. Oh, what's her name? Gal Gadot played him so smart. Didn't see that coming. This whole scene, by the way, reminded me a little bit of what was that movie? The Suicide Squad, where Harley Quinn's with that rich dude, also rich foreign dude. I kind of got that kind of vibe. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Harley Quinn. Was it Harley Quinn? Yeah, Harley Quinn, where she almost marries some dude, the foreign dude. What? You can't hear me? I can't hear you. No. Oh, okay. All good. While we handle this, yeah, I think he was a good part of the movie. He had the second egg, and yeah, the first egg, if I'm not mistaken, was at some. Was it him? No. Who had the first egg? Oh, they stole an egg off a museum, right? And let's see, anything under pressure? No. And the third egg is what really got me. I'll kind of wait for you while you kind of do your thing. But the ending of this movie is what had me in shock. I didn't see the ending. I saw the ending, but I didn't see where this movie was going. I didn't know who had the third egg. We find out, spoiler alert, that the last egg was in. It was so Ryan Reynolds like tricked Gal Gadot, who ended up getting two of the eggs, tricked her into saying it was in Egypt or something, but really it was in. You said it was in Argentina. Yeah, Argentina, and so it was just it was weird because who had the egg? It was in a special place, and then the one who led him there was Ryan Reynolds because he's the only one that knew based off of what like the egg was secretly put in Cleopatra's. Yep, I hear something now. Uh, she had the egg in her tomb or something, and it never actually left Egypt, but then it somehow landed in Argentina. Hello, hello. Nothing yet. Nope. All good though. And the kicker, right? Hopefully you can join in time. If not, I'll just say it, right?
Hello. There we go.
There you are. Hey.
All right. My bad. I don't know what happened. I think my cat might have unscrewed. Like he was messing with stuff and he hit it.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, but yeah. It was the Nazis had taken the last egg and they hit it.
Oh, there you go. The Nazis.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that was and again, it's very silly that he knew where the last where the hidden treasure was because of his dad with some watch. Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, the watch. Oh, that's right.
The watch.
Okay. The watch.
Mm.
So Ryan Reynolds had a watch. The reason why he became a thief was because his dad was a hard ass cop. And so something about a childhood story where he was, I guess, a good kid or whatever. But for some reason, the dad liked that watch more than anything. Now I know why. Because you find out the watch had something special inside. And so the dad liked the watch so much more than his own son. And that when the dad lost the watch, he went to Ryan Reynolds' character as a kid and he's like, I know you have the watch. You better give it back, blah, blah, blah. And Ryan Reynolds is like, no, like, what are you talking about? And then the dad's like, no, I know you're lying. And then the dad stopped speaking to Ryan Reynolds and that traumatized him. That the dad cared more about a watch than his own son, which makes me extremely sad. But it kind of made you kind of care for Ryan Reynolds' character. And we find out that in the watch was what again?
Coordinates. I think it was coordinates
to. It was coordinates. The actual
to
location.
where the Nazi bunker with all the goodies were in.
Yeah. So. And by the way, what a hunch, right? Like how would you trust some coordinates, some random ass coordinates from years ago? Yeah.
Ryan he kind of puts it together. I forget what he says, but like the watch used to belong to somebody, some Nazi, and this and that. I don't know. That was kind of weird with how he puts it all together. I thought that was a little. I was pushing it for me with the belief.
It was
of it all.
Oh yeah, a little bit. They didn't go so extreme. I was still with it. I was still, going with the flow.
It didn't take me out the movie.
Right. But yeah, so they get to where the last egg is, and the kicker of this all. Did you see the ending coming? Did you see that coming?
No, a little bit. A little bit. The whole choking scene. When how they escape, that was a little. I'm like, something's up, and then I wasn't quite sure what though. I knew something was there was gonna be some kind of thing that happened. I didn't know that was gonna happen though. So it was interesting. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, but I did like the trio. I liked like how they were just kept lying to each other. It just made it that much more funny that no one could trust each other, and they're all supposed to be working together. Or no, I'm sorry, not all. Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are supposed to be working together, but they keep crossing each other. And like Ryan Reynolds, when he had The Rock shocked almost to death by the little machine, it's like to get. I don't even know why did she shock him
to get info. Like, that's why she shocked him so that Ryan Reynolds would feel bad and give up the coordinates, which I guess he kind of did, but
he really didn't though. He let him get shocked to shit.
I mean, the first couple times, he was like whatever, and then after he shocked his no area, then Ryan Reynolds felt bad. He's like, So,
what a dick.
but yeah, that was,
But anyways.
yeah. That was,
But yeah, that's what I like. Would you did we did you touch on everything that you liked in the movie? You said
yeah. I mean, everything you kind of said, like I kind of mostly agree with.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Anything you didn't like about this movie?
I hate heist movies. That's maybe my more thing. And I don't know if you ever, if anybody watching, if you ever get a rant, there's a rant from Dan Harmon, who made he's one of the creators of Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
And Rick and Morty has that scene from their fake heist episode where he's like, he goes, "Damn it, I'm in." Like it's that meme, but that's from the heist, because that's how every heist works. He goes, "You got me. I don't want to do it, but damn it, I'm in." And that's what this movie was. It was like, I hate, because heist movies are very boring, and a lot of them don't make that much sense to me. It's like, what? It's like, especially like in this, is like, you found the Nazi bunker and you're worried about an egg that can get you $300 million. You literally have like priceless items and you care about one thing that can give you $300 million, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But also, you're in the Nazi bunker with every art that's important, like that's got lost throughout history, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, what? And you care about like that? At that point, I'm like, that's stupid. They even mentioned that. They're like, oh, I don't even know why we care about this egg. We can just sell all this stuff. I was like, yeah, like give the egg to Gal Gadot, but like, here, get off my ass. I'm gonna sell this, like, all these like crazy things. So I mean, I don't know. I thought that was kind of silly, but I'm just not a fan of heist movies. They're very like they all have the same kind of formula, and this one kind of didn't break that mold that much, but it did it funny. Ocean's 11, 12, and however many they did and stuff like that, it was kind of like, okay, whatever. This one was, they add the funny kind of fourth wall breaking with it. But I just don't like heist movies. They're kind of just stupid. When you really think about stuff, you're like, wait, why or how? But I mean, besides that, that was my biggest gripe was, I'm like, yeah, I forgot it's a heist movie, so of course, like, everything else that can make him a buttload of money doesn't matter. It's just the one thing, but at least it's also like, he even says in the beginning, it's not about money. It's about the reputation kind of thing. He wants to be number one. I forgot what was it. What was the name of the character? It was like, was it Black Sheep? What was the name of like the other bad, the number one thief one? I forgot. They kept giving it, like, they had a name. The bishop. The bishop.
Oh, the bishop. Yes,
the bishop. And so, and I get it was more like that kind of thing. Yo, what's up, Francisco?
Yo, thanks for sharing the stream.
Oh, thanks for sharing, dude.
Right now we're talking the movie Red Notice. Yeah.
Right, we're talking about we already talked about some of the good stuff, so now we're kind of in some of the bad stuff that we didn't like. But yeah, the bishop, I thought was kind of funny. There was like things in there where, like, the fake egg in the beginning, where she throws on the ground and they arrest the Rock, and that's not a spoiler. That's like right in the beginning of the film. And then in the inside, it's the little bishop chest, piece, on the inside. I'm like, really? I'm like, no one's gonna look at that. I mean, what? And it was like, and then I'm like, and then of course bad guys are not gonna do that. Like, they're not gonna like, I'm gonna let them know it's, even though I'm setting everyone up, I'm gonna let them know it was me. I was like, oh my god. But that's just like heist movie shit, that they gotta do. But
isn't that most criminals that they want to get caught almost though?
He's gonna try to cut it.
But not to
I don't know.
They rather have the fame than the whole like, hey, catch me type deal.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's part of what it said, because like the Rock is like, oh, Like you're in it for the money, or not. You're not in it for the money. You're in it for the fame. And then Ryan Reynolds is like, he's like, no, I'm in it for the money too. You know, so it's kind of like, but it's also is like, it is the fame. You know, so
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm in. You know, that was me for most of this movie. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was. I mean, there's times I looked over at my girlfriend and I said it, and she was just like, ugh. I think she was over it. I mean, that was me. Yeah. I'm like, we need to go to Egypt to steal the egg. Like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. You know, it was like,
oh my god.
You know, I mean, but that's the main thing about heist movies is no matter what, they have to go with it. You know, like Ryan Reynolds doesn't need to help The Rock. There's no reason for him to help The Rock. He's like, oh, cool, you rot in jail. I'm gonna go do my thing. See you later, dude. But like, he goes, you know, no, he has to tell The Rock. He's like, son of a bitch, I'm in. Let's go. You know, so you know, and that's kind of the thing Dan Harmon makes fun of in this episode of Rick and Morty, is how stupid heist movies are. But yeah. But besides, that was the biggest thing. It was just the type of movie it was.
Okay.
But what about you, man? What are some of the things you might not like about this one?
So heist movies, they're okay with me. I know what to expect. I don't put them on a high pedestal because you can only do a heist movie so many ways. But one thing that really bothered me that you could have, I understand why this role was put in. I think they could have chose better casting. And I have nothing against this person, but the person that played Das or Vashi Das, the Rock's boss, whatever, or what was she?
The detective, right?
Detective, yeah. She was trash. She was trash for the whole movie, in my opinion. I think you could have done better with how she acted. Like times when, you know, she locked up The Rock and whatever, she could have been proud and she could have had this whole funny thing that they had going on, but she was just so bland. I didn't get anything from her. You could have put a dead body in her place, and that would have done the same thing for this movie. I didn't like her in the movie. Gal Gadot, you mentioned that with her and our pretty much three main people in here, they play off of their strengths for this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think Das had a strength. I just don't think so. I think, like, I know her purpose for the movie. Her purpose was to try to catch, you know, Dwayne Johnson's character, and you know, and Dwayne Johnson was trying to prove to her that, hey, I'm not who they say I am. I'm trying to clear my name. And then Ryan Reynolds is all, you know, hey, I'm trying to be the best thief in the world. You know, he wants to be the thing that his dad thought he was, but he wasn't. So now he's trying to be it because X, Y, and Z reasons. I don't know. Yeah. A lot of cliches in this movie. I'm okay with cliches as long as you do them okay. It did all right. Yeah. But just Das, you take her out the movie. She needs to get recasted. And then who else?
Well, I like the actress. I really like the actress. Yeah. Rita Rutu, or how you pronounce it? Rita Ara. She was in. She's been in. She's she's in the other Netflix show, The Umbrella Academy. Ugh. And she plays a great character in The Umbrella Academy. But I think because this is a heist movie, you have to have the dumb cop, and that's in every heist movie.
She didn't seem dumb either. Was she portrayed as like a dumb cop?
Not dumb as in like, but like dumb as in like the bad guy's always got one step ahead of you. You know, that kind of thing. You know, so it's like, I'm like, okay, you know, and so yeah, and somehow she was always following them. Like even in the Nazi thingy, I was like, wait, how did she? You know, it's a heist movie, so you gotta put that stuff aside.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like saying she was a bad actress. I don't even think she did her role bad. I just think you could have done the role differently. So you know who does a really good
character was boring.
Dumb cop? It's a kind of an old movie now. The Fugitive. What's his name?
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
That's who I think of when I think of like, oh, the cop that's a few steps behind, but he tries to be the guy that's ahead and whatever. He does a good job. You can throw his ass in this movie. I bet you'd probably do good. But actually, he's old, right? Damn.
Yeah, he's really old.
Damn it.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind her. The character was kind of boring. You know, the same thing is like, so it's a fake egg. So you're not going to destroy the egg to see if there's anything, you know, maybe slice it open. Like, and if it, one easy thing, break the egg, look down, and you'll see the Bishop logo in it. Boom, there. The Rock is not the bad guy, you know, or, you know. But yeah, it was just like, but that's how it is. Like, these movies need to have that kind of, the good guy is good no matter what, but they're always like one step behind. And it's kind of like, ugh. You know, like that's just, but that's just what you get from these kind of movies. From, you know, so
yeah,
it was kind of, she was boring. That character was really boring.
Yeah,
I thought she was gonna have a bigger twisty role at the end. I really thought she did, and she didn't, and that was more of the letdown than anything. You know, I thought it was gonna be more of a twist with her character, and it really wasn't. So. So real quick, so I found this too, which kind of goes in with The Rock. So this is anytime Dominic Toretto, anytime the government official approaches him and uses the word family, he's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." You know,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you have to go through stuff like this, you know. And I mean, and the Fast and Furious are heist movies as well. You know, they're just not heist as in, you know, stealing an egg. They're heist as in, oh, we gotta steal this rocket because it's going to destroy the world. And it's just stupid talking about. It's funny, that's the kind of stuff.
It's funny that you say that, but that actually happened in the movie, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah. It sounds made up as hell. Wow. It
does. But that's kind of how it is, you know, with it. Yeah. But I know The Rock and Vin Diesel wants The Rock back in. And The Rock is like,
he does? Didn't they have beef?
Yeah, they have beef, but I think Vin Diesel knows, like, if he wants to make like 10 more Fast Nines, you know, you need The Rock, because The Rock is a way better actor than Vin Diesel, which is saying a lot. But The Rock is like, F off, man. He goes, he's gonna be a superhero. I mean, he's got this, you know, everything with Kevin Hart. You know, they can literally pull stuff out of their butts and make a funny movie, those two. And now Ryan Reynolds in the, you know, because Ryan Reynolds, I think, wasn't Ryan Reynolds in one of the Rock movies? I can't remember. Like, not Hobbs and Shaw. I think he was in Hobbs and Shaw. He was like, like a guy that helped him out with some of the things. I think Ryan Reynolds was like his buddy that The Rock was with. There's a few little parts, I believe it. But yeah. Yeah, man, it's if you know movies and you're just like, it's a heist movie, you can pretty much plan out the whole movie, how it's gonna go, and then insert all the jokes with Ryan Reynolds.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. You know about the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Am I reading this right? Was Ryan Reynolds in the Avengers?
In any of the movies?
The 2012, it shows it as part of his resume here. Movies.
I mean, unless he was a background character, but I don't think he was.
Has to be a background character. Oh man, what if it's one of those little Easter eggs that? I doubt it. How cool would that be if I just revealed that he was in the Avengers? What if he was a background Deadpool character? I don't know. Anyways,
that'd be fun. But I mean, well, real quick, while we're talking about that, Ryan Reynolds did sign a big contract with Marvel, so the rumor is he's gonna be the new Stan Lee. You know, where Stan Lee showed up in every kind of thing. So Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, is going to be the new Stan Lee. So Deadpool is going to show up in stupid little parts of the film.
I like it.
Kind of how Stan Lee does. So, which is a perfect fit. It's just the perfect fit is just insert Deadpool here for joke. You know, and it's like, boom, done. Yeah. Yep. So he, you know, they might have like backtracked it. You know, CGI Deadpool walking in the background. That would be so stupid. But yeah. Cool, man. You want to get into the official ratings, or you want to say anything else about it real quick?
Nah, that's all I got.
Yep.
Let's do our rating system.
Boom. Cool.
So, over here at the Nerd Huddle, us two spoiler kings, we like to rate movies a little bit differently over here. So, we rate it either one of three ways that you see on screen. So, when we review blockbuster movies, or any movies for that matter, you either rate it a watch now, a watch later, or a watch never. A watch now means you got to drop everything that you're doing and prioritize this movie to watch it as soon as possible. A watch later means the movie's okay, not priority, and you can put it on the back burner, watch it whenever you want. And a watch never means that we rate this movie so bad that you should not waste any time watching it. But what do you think of the movie?
Red Notice on Netflix. I'm gonna give it a later. It was a fun movie. For what it was, it didn't take itself serious, which is super good. I think if it did take itself serious, it would have changed the entire film. But since Deadpool / Ryan Reynolds was in it, and he kind of was very meta, that definitely helped. And then everyone else kind of really played around Ryan Reynolds with him being goofy like that. And it just worked, and it was fun. So definitely, I'll give it a later. It's on Netflix. So you got a weekend where you got nothing to do. Weather's getting crappy. It's raining out. I'll put it on. It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. What about you, man? How do you rate it?
So for Red Notice, which I later find out Red Notice means you're a fugitive.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found that out at the very last scene of the movie. But I think this movie is also a watch later. So I was never going to rate this a watch now. It's not even near a watch now. Because if you were to take out the three main protagonists of this movie and put in three Joe Schmoes, this movie would be trash. It would be a never, for sure. So the fact that we had three fun characters like Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they had just a good chemistry, as they always do, with other actors and actresses in their, respective Hollywood field. They always do a good job, so it was fun. They had some cool, corny jokes, as a heist movie should, right? So yeah, I think it's a fun movie to watch when you have time. Don't watch it right now. Save your money. If you really want to watch something worth watching right now, check out our last review where we talk about the movie The Harder They Fall. Ooh, that's a spicy movie.
Also on Netflix.
Also on Netflix. Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose over those two movies, I would choose The Harder They Fall, and I'd watch that again over this movie.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to give this a never, because it's not a never. It's worth a watch, but like one time maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think to myself, would I watch this movie again intentionally? I'm probably going to say no. What about you? Would you watch this movie again?
Nah. Like if I just got put it on and like, oh, hey, let's watch this again. Probably not. If it was on, like I go to my mom's house and she's watching it for the first time, over like Thanksgiving or something after dinner, you're like, hey, let's watch this. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not, I didn't hate it that much, but I probably would be on my phone a lot and kind of like, yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't go out and watch this again. I would definitely watch another, like Harder They Fall. That's something worth watching again. If you're going to do a Netflix stuff. But overall it was funny, but like you said, if you replace it with somebody else that wasn't funny, it would have been a completely different movie and it would have been very, very bad. But let's get into what the critics and the audience on Rotten Tomatoes said. So this is one of the biggest differences I've seen ever. So the audience gives it a 92%. All right. Yes. What? Wow. Yeah. So, which is crazy that this movie, the audience has higher than another movie that we just talked about, Ghostbusters from 1984. They had an 88%. And I don't know if this, I think people, especially the younger generation, love The Rock, love Ryan Reynolds, and love Gal Gadot. Which they're great in this film. Super, super great. 92% is a lot. But the critics gave it 35%. That's
So
a
bad.
giant difference, dude. That's a
Wow.
giant difference. I wouldn't. That's two extremes. I'm definitely somewhere more in the middle with that. I don't
Yeah.
know about you. I would
Yeah.
give it more 60 to 65, maybe.
Yeah.
Around 60 is more. I would put it at. But being 35 and 92, holy crap! Holy
The
crap.
average of those two numbers, see, 35 and 92, that'd be 60 something. Yeah, you're right. Right there in the middle. I'm definitely right in the middle. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad, man. The critic, what's wrong with the critics? And then the fans, they got to get off the rocks nuts with that 92. If you give a movie 92% rating, that means it should get awards. This movie ain't getting any awards. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, it's not. Here's a couple of top critics. We got Vanity Fair. Said Red Notice is limp and dull and does more to showcase the shortcomings of each of the marquee idols than it does to highlight their bankable charisma. Which I kind of disagree there. I think it banks on what they are.
Okay.
Like, hey, Gal Gadot is a sex icon, quote unquote. Let's put her in sexy dresses and a bikini at the end. The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, they're able to like do a good buddy cop stuff because they're funny. So I thought they did play to their strengths, but low doll. Chicago Reader said, like the plot of the film itself, none of the many bullets that whiz around ever seem to find their targets. So, and they're all kind of around the same kind of idea around those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the audience, let's see some of the audience. The three main characters are fun to watch, but this is just another adventure movie with a slightly better than or movie that is slightly better than average. I wouldn't even give it slightly better than average. I would just say it's average.
It's average. Yeah.
So it's about average. Here's a person that gave him 5. This is a verified audience user on Rotten Tomatoes. They gave him 5 stars. We enjoyed this film. Both Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson are funny, but putting them in a movie together was great. It was definitely worth getting out to see. Not recommended for children under 13. Lots of cussing. I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, great
It's
comedy
for kids
movie
anyways.
with 3 main characters. Yeah. Oh, no way. Yeah, but had a good twist at the end. I don't even know if it's worth spoiling, but yeah.
I don't
kinda
think
like-
so. Let us know in the comments. If we get 5 comments asking for a spoiler, we'll put it out.
Yeah, we'll make a little short. We'll make a short talking about the spoiler of it.
Be 3 minutes long, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think by mid film you kind of start to figure things out. That stuff is up, and you kind of figure it out a little bit. But yeah, fun movie. Both gave it a later. Like you said, no way in heck is this ever getting a never or now. I mean, it's not getting a now. And it's one actor shy of missing one actor from being a never. So
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if The Rock wasn't in it, I don't know if Ryan Reynolds can hold it up enough. Gal Gadot didn't do enough with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, yeah. It's just one of those things, but fun. It was fun. It wasn't Crying Evan bad, but
No.
it was close. It was close.
If we had to pick a persona for a now, later, and never, the crying face is definitely the never. I know that's another crying face on the right side, or is that a laughing face? That would be my watch now, and then the blondie in the back is the watch later. She's like, it's
Watch
kind
later.
of emotion,
I'm here.
not too much. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just here. Yeah. That's kind of how it goes. But cool, man. I appreciate everyone hanging out live with it. It was kind of a little bit longer, but it was a double feature. So if you're watching this one on replay, go check out our classic review of Ghostbusters 1984 before we review Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is the next movie that we're doing on Monday. It's going to be the big blockbuster film of the weekend, and we are talking about it on Monday. I can't wait. But yeah, we are also doing a giveaway on Monday. A video should be coming up shortly within the next couple days or so. But it's gonna be Candyman, the new version of Candyman with was it Jordan Peele?
Yes, Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. Yeah, or yeah. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and be on the lookout for our Candyman giveaway film, so you can win Candyman digital copy of Candyman. Cool. I had to make sure I said it 3 times. I don't know if you noticed.
I just not picked up.
So if you're like, you're saying Candyman a lot, I was like, yeah.
He said it 3 times.
Now I can't go to sleep. Damn it. Yeah. So cool, man. Anything else before we head out?
Nah, just stay tuned for more reviews. We do this every week. If we don't do it on a Monday, it's usually because of me. I have a crazy life, but we will catch us Tuesday or Wednesday. But thank you for taking the time to give us, your time watching us. If you can support us, give us a like, comment, share the video with your friends. It takes 2 seconds out of your day, but we really appreciate you, whoever is watching. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Help us get to 50 subs before the end of the month. That's the goal. We're only 3 away. I think we can do it. So appreciate everyone, like Will said, and cool. We will catch you next Monday. Later.
Deuces.